Hello. Today I wanted to talk about mixing and production. In particular, I think I'm going to focus on two things, like how I think you or myself should get good at mixing, and also like the philosophy I've developed on mixing so far. Um, so first up, how to get good at mixing. God, it's a long journey. It's a long journey, and I think that the reason there's only a very small number of like high quality, amazing mixes out there is because of how long the journey is and how difficult it is to actually get that good. Like, I often compare it to like becoming a doctor or something like that. I don't think that people take the like skill set of mixing quite seriously enough. Um, it's intense. Getting good, like it's everything, right? Okay, you have to understand music. So that means you have to listen to music a lot, and you need to know how it all works and what's making you feel. So you need to go from a logical kind of vibe and an emotional vibe. The first thing you want to do is like understand getting your emotions and feel that music and just let it go. But then you've got to get out and kind of like understand what is making me feel that way. What is making me feel that way? And you'll notice that it has a lot to do with the song, the particular arrangement, and the everything to do with it, and then the way it's mixed, and it all comes together to do one thing. And your job as a mixer is to get what they've created, that feeling, and most likely enhance it so the listener really, really feels it. So if you can't feel music when you listen to it, if you're a very scientific, like, bleh person, you're probably not going to be that good at music. So learn to feel music. That's the first thing. Knowledge. Acquire more knowledge than you could possibly imagine. Like, that's the thing. That's where I kind of probably slack off a little bit. But, like, if you want to learn to use a compressor, like, correctly, learn about compressors. Heaps. Heaps. Like, and the other thing is, like, while you're learning, it's a buttload of experimentation. Like, open up whatever DAW you're using, Logic, Pro Tools, it doesn't matter, and record your own fucking shitty song if you have to. That's what I used to do. And what does this attack time do? What does this release time do? And if I boost the EQ here, what does it sound like? And then while you're doing that, train your ears, train them hardcore. There's two things that really help training with the ears. Well, three. One, listen to music a lot on a very low volume and just like listen to start differentiating and distinguishing between the bass and the guitars on the sides and the frequencies they're holding and the depth and everything like that. Go there, but also train your ears on a more kind of like kind of like regimented kind of like thing. There's two ways. There's a program called Train Your Ears. It's really good. It's really good, especially if you're first starting out. And Dave Pensado also has a video where he explains how he uses either a high pass filter or a low pass filter, other way around, on a kind of like steep slope, and gradually, and then you hear, okay, so when I get to 1000 hertz, what's kind of there? What instrument is there? When I go down to 250, what's there? Oh, okay, kind of like the body of the snare and maybe some of the chunkiness of the guitar, and maybe a bit above that is kind of like, the kind of essence of the vocal. You kind of start learning that, and you learn that the frequency spectrum is a very kind of like huge thing, and there's little compartments in it that you can put certain compartments of a particular instrument within. It's a very kind of big thing. And there it goes. And experiment and practice like you've never practiced before. Go to live gigs as well. Go to live gigs and feel the bass. Like when it's turned up so loud, feel what really big bass sounds like, and particularly listen to where the vocal sits in the mix as well, because there you get a very good representation of how music ends up just kind of like organically flowing between and with each other and stuff, particular elements with each other. Yeah, so this is just a ramble. Like, like, I'm not really at the point where I'm gonna like give some like write a book or anything like that. It's just like if you get something out of this, then that's great. Um, yeah. So, how to get good? What else was I even gonna talk about? I can't remember. My philosophy on mixing. Yeah. So just to sum that up, practice heaps, learn a lot. Get comfortable with your emotions and things like that, and learn how to feel, and also develop your logic. And experiment, fail 1,000 billion times, and then one time you'll succeed and you go, oh my god, this relationship between the kick drum and the bass guitar is insane, and you'll start vibing. My philosophy on mixing, more and more I'm seeing it as an art form rather than like, this kind of like scientific career path or anything like that. I'm starting to realize that a song is a mix these days. That's the way I hear it. Like, I think most songs and arrangements are fucking terrible. Like, they're terrible, and it's the mix that sells it. It's the mix that sells it because there's so much going on, especially with all the new technology and the plugins you can use and everything like that. But beside the point, like, I'm seeing mixing is your way to express yourself. Yeah, like a singer with a, like Bob Dylan with his lyric book and his guitar, who says that? Or, Mozart, or some cool poet that I don't know, but, it's an art form, yeah? Like, so some mixes might be like, oh, like, I'm not going to put any of my flavor into the mix. I'm serving the song. I hear that all the time, and it's like, oh, you boring cunt. Like, you boring cunt, and stop lying. That's the other thing. All these mixes, I feel like they just say that, but it's like you inevitably end up putting so much of your essence in the song. And I think the more you accept that you're going to do that, the more you can have a good relationship with that mix and the music. Like, don't have a barrier between you and the mix where it's like, oh, I can't put too much of me in it. It's like, no, whoosh, flow together, and then organically create something amazing. It's an art form, and it's your art form. Appreciate that and accept that. And that goes back to like becoming a good mixer and everything like that. That's something that you should be focusing on. How are you going to develop your own unique style and develop your art so that you can really express yourself? For me personally, I've kind of just watch your idols and stuff like that, because generally the way that it'll happen is like you get a little bit from this person, a little bit from this person, a little bit from this person, and then you'll also be listening to music and having experiences, and it'll all kind of emerge into like this unique style. It's not gonna, don't focus on it too much, but yeah, like for me, I think that like watching Chad Blake and his like awesome use of kind of like distortion on particular instruments like snare drums and stuff like that, and a vocal. I love that kind of thing. I love the character that distortion gives a mix, and I love trashiness. That's a thing I'm really realizing lately. I love a good trashy sound. But then there's like Andrew Sheps that has like that really tight, like super compressed, like in your face thing, and you can definitely hear like all the elements in their own little spot. He's good with the distortion stuff as well. And then there's other people like Steve Albini, who has so much like integrity and like he's so opinionated, and I love that. Like and he has a completely different style, you know what I mean? A lot less compression, focuses on like raw room sounds a lot more. Like he's got some very particular recording techniques as well. So it's like, I think that's the thing. Like I've researched all of these different mixers and producers, and then come together, and I'm gradually creating my own style. And I know what I like and I know what I don't like in a mix. That's the big thing. If you want to be a good mixer, you have to be a little bit like, I heard Dave Pensado say this the other day, you got to have a little bit of arrogance to you, you know what I mean? You got to know what you like and know what you think is, yeah, that's shit, you know what I mean? Kind of like, believe in yourself and really focus and think, I like this. Be able to make that decision, I like this. It doesn't mean it sounds good, just I like it. And the snare might sound like absolute, like objectively, in an objective reality, like absolute shit, like the Saint Angus snare or something like that. But at some point, all these musicians got together and said, I like that snare. And it's like having the balls to make a decision like that in mixing is what makes a really good mix. When you do something that's like, I like it, okay? Trust your instincts. That's what I'm getting at. Like, you really have to be able to trust your instincts. And then Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I think I'll talk about this kind of stuff a lot more. Like, I'll start developing it and like actually try to offer like a kind of more like compartmentalized, like, journey through, what it is to like become a good mixer and also developing a mixing philosophy. Like, I'll create a better kind of like, systemized version of this. But yeah, if you learn anything, I'm super stoked. Or get inspired. Stay inspired as well, forever. Stay inspired. Anyway, keep on doing that whole music thing. I feel like I'm accidentally saying that at the end of every YouTube video. Keep on writing that music, fellas.